Well, one of the great things about streaming platforms is that they quite quickly give you the chance to see blockbuster movies that you didn't manage to see in the cinema, and it's very much the case this week because F1 the movie lands on Apple TV, which I've not seen. And here's a clip.
When you look in the mirror, you see this rough and tumble, old school cowboy. Doesn't take orders, goes his own way, huh? A lone wolf. Well, I've news for you. Formula One is a team sport. It always was. Listen, let's get this straight. We all lose our jobs if you can't pull off a miracle.
No pressure.
Yes, so I also hadn't seen it on the big screen, and I now got it to watch to preview for this. And I actually quite like F1, and I know that a lot of people that have done articles on this are people that don't watch F1, and they talk about it from that sort of perspective, which I think is an interesting one, because do you really want to watch this if you don't like F1? And the answer is actually yes, it's for everybody. But it's not really what I expected. So if you look at the sort of the trailers with this, you see the real drama. I mean, this is Apple TV, so it's properly dramatic. It's properly it's curated really well. And, you know, it's kind of the thoughts in the driver's head. Brad Pitt, there's a bit of a backstory with him because he used to be a brilliant racing driver, kind of left the industry, went off the rails, wasn't living the best life, and then comes back to it later in life. So you've suddenly got this brilliant racing driver up against the youngsters. They sort of pit two men against each other, which is quite unusual. It's usually two women, isn't it, in scenarios that are pitted against each other. But in this one, it's two men. And of course, Brad Pitt does bring it to the party. He's attractive. He's good at what he does, and he has got a real sheer kind of cheesy arrogance in this, which it just sort of works. But it starts sort of giving you that you don't see the old days, you don't see when he was younger, you don't see how he used to drive, particularly, which would have been quite nice to see, but I guess tricky to do. And then you see him kind of working his way through, trying to get some money again, I suppose. And then an old colleague of his owns a racing team and brings him back, and that's what happens. And it is quite cheesy. It's really well done. I really enjoyed it. But this is somebody who probably shouldn't succeed because he's older in this industry, I should say, because when do you see much older F1 drivers? You don't, succeeding and being somebody who's showing the youngsters how to do it, if you like. But the kind of sheer want to win, it's very pacey at times. As I say, it is a little bit cheesy. It's quite dramatic and unnecessarily again at times. But I thought it was really good, and I don't think you need to be an F1 lover to watch it. What do you think, Ian?
I agree. I really liked it, actually. I was pleasantly surprised. And it's sort of the drive to survive effect, isn't it? Because that has hugely increased the popularity of F1 globally. And I was a bit worried because F1 are actually involved in this film. And I think Lewis Hamilton is an executive producer or something. And you see some of the F1 drivers in the film. So I kind of thought, I don't know if that's such a great idea. But it's great. It's quite hokey, as you say, this idea that this guy who's a sort of grizzled veteran coming back, but it's a perfect role for Brad Pitt. He's terrific in it, and yeah, he's paired with this younger driver, and you've got the training montage. It's hilarious. So the younger driver's like using all the technology to get fit, and he's really into the social media stuff. Whereas Brad, of course, is just doing like one-armed push-ups and running, going out jogging, and yeah, it's very funny. The racing is really exciting. It looks great. And what they do, which is quite clever, because obviously, as you said, a lot of people who watch this, they're going to watch it because Brad Pitt's in it for starters. They may not know anything about F1. And F1 is quite complicated, sort of the nuances of pit stops and tyre choice and all that kind of thing. So they have someone sort of giving the race voiceover, explaining very clearly, as if to the crowd, the F1 crowd, what is happening when, say, the safety car is deployed, or, you know, someone does a pit stop. And so that's quite useful, I think. You've got some good supporting cast. You've got Javier Bardem is the owner, the team owner, who brings Brad Pitt's character back. You've got Tobias Menzies as a board member, and you've got the wonderful Kerry Condon from the Banshees of Inisherin, and she really lifts it, I think, because she's a strong woman on the F1 team, and it's quite a macho world, isn't it, F1? And she's got a good interplay with Brad Pitt, I think, in quite a few scenes. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely cheesy. It's quite kind of old school movie making, and, you know, hokey in places. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, I must say. I thought it was great.